The Gift by Seether is probably my favorite song of all time because I just felt that, you know what I mean? Like the lyric was the lyric, I look into the mirror and I'm so ashamed of that thing. Like I feel that, like, you know what I
Right.
mean? And like, yeah, music has totally saved my life.
So,
Fiction.
what's the story behind the original name, Iowa Test?
Well, so to that point, we didn't really know what name to go with. So we were just like spitballing ideas, and Craig was just like, "Dude, remember the Iowa tests?" And I was like, "I don't know. I've never fucking took an Iowa test."
That's a funny question. Nobody's asked that.
And so, what's a moment in your life that really shaped who you are today?
Man, that's a great question. I think, I mean, especially in the context of music, because like I said, I've always been playing some sort of music and stuff like that. And like the first band I formed with some friends in high school, we went by the name Five Knuckle Shuffle. And I think that was like the first time I really like performed rock music in front of somebody. It was at like one of those like high school talent show type things, and it was one of those like I expected to be really nervous and all this other stuff, and I kind of was, but as soon as we started playing I was like, oh, this feels right. Like something about this like just clicks. And so I mean that moment's kind of hung with me quite a bit.
Warning. This podcast contains real opinions, raw energy, and zero apologies. If that electrifies you, good. Welcome to the BSing with Y-Eagle-Y podcast. Hit that like button and turn it up. Let's rock.
All right. Welcome to the show. We got some killer shows coming your way. So, but first, we had a close friend and a member of Static Shift radio station, family member, got in a car accident, totaled their car. They have a GoFundMe. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the screen for everyone. Leave it there for a second. So we've got some killer shows coming your way. So lock in these dates. May 10th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, Venus Love. May 15th at 5 p.m., Queen of Spades, all the way from the Netherlands. May 23rd at 12 p.m., Touch of Red. Don't miss this lineup. But tonight, we're bringing you the heat. Let's welcome Justin and Ryan from the band Love and a 38. How's it going, guys?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, good.
Beautiful
Thanks for being
Sunday.
on, guys.
Of course. Thanks for having us. I was hearing that intro. It got me pumped. I'm pumped. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to pod, guys. I'm hyped to pod.
All right.
So, got to give a shout out to my good buddy, Clipple. He helped us design that video, put it together, along with Disease, the producer. So, to start the podcast, Ryan and Justin, I know, Ryan, you've been there since day one. So take us back to 2009.
Ooh.
How did Love and a 38 first come together in the LA scene?
Okay. So I moved out to LA in 2006. Moved out to LA from Oklahoma in 2006. And had a couple of bands prior to that. But in 2008, 2009, forget how the timing exactly wound up. My old band, our guitarist had moved away and the drummer had kind of aged out. I was playing with guys who were older than me. And so I was looking for a band. And back in these days, we're talking MySpace ads. So I found that's how you would find people to play with. I found a MySpace ad for a band called Love and a 38. And there were pictures of some dudes and there was like some instrumental music. There were no vocals on anything, but there were like cool pictures of guys, and I'll tell you, their MySpace profile was really on point. It was really locked down. They had, you know, the hair all done and the makeup, and they were hanging out in some cool bar, and they'd had a cool photographer take all these pictures. So it kind of looked like they were a band, but they weren't. It was two guitarists and a drummer is all that it was. There was no bass player. There was no vocals. But whatever line they were casting, it worked because it reeled me in, and I show up, and I guess they'd had a bunch of guys trying out, or a bunch of different people come in and sing. Actually, one of the people who tried out to be the singer is now in, what's that, Black Veil Brides?
No, he tried for bass.
No, I think he tried for bass or vocals. He's one of the guys.
I remember bass.
You remember? All right, he was one of the and he wound up in Black Veil Brides after that.
Wow. Davey Suicide too tried to be the singer.
Davey Suicide did try to be the singer. I probably still have some old demos with Davey Suicide on them, actually, in a hard drive somewhere, whenever they were trying to compile things. But anyway, I went and I hung out with the guys, jammed with them. They just threw me some music. I started basically scatting, improvising over the music that was there, and it just kind of worked out. We all got along, so I joined up, and then it was another couple months before we had a bass player, our good buddy Daniel McGuffey. He joined up, and so at that point we were a full-fledged band. By the time we started playing show, I think we may have done 1 or 2 shows with the rhythm guitarist before he kind of backed out. So really, like, the first real version of Lovin' a 38 was me, Daniel, the guitarist Krishna, and Danny XS, the drummer. Was really like the original 4 dudes who were playing a bunch of shows and writing music and stuff together. By the time we recorded anything, it was those 4 guys. And then Justin, probably about 2-3 years later.
Yeah.
2-3 years later, our buddy Daniel just kind of, it wasn't for him anymore. And so we snagged him up and took him to Arizona on his very first show.
2 weeks after my first audition.
2 weeks after his first audition. And then filmed a music video like a week after you joined the band. We were moving quick back in those days.
Things moved really quick when they joined.
Yeah, they put your feet to the fire, didn't they?
Well,
yeah.
He must have loved it. He's still there.
Still around. Still around. So that was the beginning of Lovin' a 38. Essentially, was I answered a MySpace ad. And to anybody who's younger than 30 who watches this, they're going to have no idea what the hell that means.
You're right. Right.
I was in Germany when MySpace came around.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. That's a beautiful country, man.
Yeah, I've never been. Did we? No,
Sweden.
We flew through Germany once. We threw fun side tangent about MySpace. After MySpace was already like dead, basically, people had moved over to Instagram and Facebook and everything else. We went to South by Southwest one year, and they were trying to do a big comeback, and they had rented out some bar, and it was going to be the MySpace party bar at South by Southwest because they're doing a hard relaunch. And yeah, we went and redid our profile on there and everything. Like, all right, yeah, let's go drinking at the MySpace bar. South by Southwest is going to be great. And there were like 2 people in there, and it was it was kind of sad. And I'm like, oh no, is Tom okay? Is anybody checking on Tom from MySpace? Is he all right?
Yeah.
Dang.
Even when Justin Timberlake rebought it, they had us.
Yeah.
They had us go in and
that's right.
because we were a MySpace band. Well, that was before my time in the band, but they were a MySpace band. They actually had us go in and like film like testimonials about like, you know, the glory days of MySpace.
Oh my God, I have completely forgotten we did that. Yeah, when Justin Timberlake bought it, they tried to bring it back, and we were some sort of a MySpace success story or something. So we went into some studio and talked about how great MySpace was. So that, yeah, if anybody
It
ever
happened.
sees this and has any of that video, my goodness, I would love to see it.
So, Ryan, you moved out to LA. Justin, you pretty much are an LA native. Talk about what the LA music scene was like in 2009. Obviously, it was different from the 80s and 90s, definitely different from the hair metal era when bands would come out. Talk about starting a rock band in LA and what the music scene was like during that era.
It was healthy. It was really healthy back in the day. Even when, before I joined the band, I was doing my own. Well, I wasn't doing my own thing, but I was in another band. And constantly, like, we'd be playing down the street when 38 was playing the Roxy, and like, the scene was just thriving. There was a scene. There was a community. You could definitely make a night of going from one venue and just making your way down, the whole strip.
Yeah.
So it was still popping at the Whiskey and the Troubadour and all those. They were still hitting.
Yeah, when we first started gigging out in 2009, 2010, it wasn't long after I had first started frequenting any of those establishments, and it really, I wasn't here in the 80s, but it really felt sort of like as advertised for the LA Hollywood music scene, because there were a bunch of clubs right next to each other. There was the Roxy, Viper Room, Cat Club, there's even the Rainbow, the Key Club. There were all these places that were right there that pretty much had music 7 nights a week. And there was even kind of a hierarchy to it. Like if it was a band that had just started gigging, you could get in, you could get a gig at the Cat Club, which was a couple doors down from the Whiskey. You could get in at the Cat Club, and if people show up and you have a good time, then maybe you need a bigger room. So then you go across the street to the Viper Room for a few shows, and if that does really well, maybe you need a bigger room. And then you go across the street to the Roxy, and there was just sort of there was a scene. People supported each other, even if they were competitive with each other, which there definitely was some of that. You could, any night of the week, just go down to Sunset and find something cool to do, find some rock and roll. And I feel like we were sort of part of the last era of that as of right now. It's certainly not like that right now. But COVID changed everything. It was already kind of changing before that. But therefore there was a good 3, 4, 5 year run where there really was a lot going on every night. If people would come into town and they wanted to see LA, we'd just get in the car and we'd go down to Sunset, and we didn't know what was going on. We'd just find somewhere to go, and it was usually cool. It's not exactly as simple as that anymore, unfortunately.
Right.
Also, to further that point, Linkin Park's new singer came from that old scene.
Who's the new singer?
Emily from
Okay.
Dead Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dead Sarah was
They
part
were
of
a
that
Roxy
scene.
band.
They were part of that scene.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Man, she crushes. I forgot she was in Linkin Park.
Yeah.
She kills.
Oh yeah, she's doing a great job, by the way. I mean, much love to Chester. God rest Chester, but she is doing a great job.
Yeah, they were around, and who else? Rival Sons.
Rival Sons
was around. We'd played.
Oh,
with
I
them
love
at the
those
Viper
guys,
Room.
man.
I remember seeing
Love
them
those guys.
when we played with them at the Viper Room. Just remember being like, wow, I think these guys might have something. And then you blink, and it's like, oh, is that band that we played with at the Viper Room? And they're just blowing up.
That was my first LA show.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
When we played with Rival Sons? He's got a better memory for this kind of stuff than I do. Like, he remembers who we played with and when we played with them, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I vaguely...
It was my first, honey.
...recall. Well, you always remember your first.
Sure do.
Speaking of your first, Justin, so when you first started playing with the group, what stood out right away?
I would say there was two things. I really liked the main thing was this guy. I really liked his voice. I really liked his voice. His writing was really cool.
You're making him blush now.
Not the first time. But I liked his voice and what he brought to the band. Obviously, I think in a lot of ways the vocals are really important to, you know, the overall sonic soundscape of a band. And I really liked what he brought to the table. Enough so that before I joined my first band, there was a MySpace ad, that first round for bass players. I tried to get in back then, and there was just too many people, so they didn't even see my message on MySpace. And then I ended up running into the guys at the NAMM convention, and jokingly was like, "You need a bass player again?" And that night was literally Daniel's last show with the band, so they had me come in and audition like a week after the convention, and then a week after that, first gig in Arizona as a test. But to finish your question though, I also really like Krishna's guitar playing too. Like he was a really, really talented guitar player, and just the way he would write parts was really interesting. So both of those things combined was just really appealing to me.
And then hitting the ground running, you know, what do you think about that? Like, you know, he mentioned a music video like right after joining. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's funny with that music video. The director was a friend of mine that I met from doing some session work for someone else, and they were talking about doing like a music video. I was like, I know someone that's like shot Macy Gray music videos before. Like, if we want to do something like really rad, like I can make a call. And I think we were actually in Arizona when I was like texting the guy to try and set something up. So any anxiety I felt about that moment was self-induced.
It's a cool video.
It was a cool video.
I hope that guy's doing well.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing well. That was the Rock and Lola music video.
Oh, okay, I was
like
going to
that
ask.
song, man.
For fans of the
love it.
band who may know,
I love that song.
yeah, that was a real fun video. That was one of like the very, very first things that we ever wrote, and so it's sort of still living on all of these years later, which is wild to me to think of how long it's been and how long we've been doing it and how many different people have played that song. Honestly, but that's just life. That's just how bands work.
Well, we obviously want to get to the songs before the interview's over, but going back a little to your origins, Justin, Ryan, both of you guys started playing music very early on, and Justin, you started playing piano really young before moving to guitar and bass, but you also had a lot of involvement with playing with your school music program, and so Rob and I kind of both have questions leaning into your advocacy for supporting funding and things for public school music programs and so forth. Talk about that, and talk about you guys getting started so early musically.
Sure. It's funny you ask. I was in Sacramento this week meeting with senators and assembly members. But yeah, I've been involved in this going on 9 years of different forms of advocacy, whether it's state issues, federal issues. You know, the problems facing school programs is just, it's an epidemic that has just never been fixed entirely. You know, as soon as there's issues with schools and budgets, you know, even issues at like the federal level with budgets, arts programs are the first ones to go all the time. We are considered expendable and no one needs us. That is incorrect. Everyone needs music, everyone needs arts.
Absolutely.
So I've been involved with it, you know, since 2017. And it's a passion project of mine. I do it on the side because of passion and out of spite. But yeah, it's important because I had lessons growing up because my parents put me in like private music classes. They put me in like Little League baseball. Just, you know, they wanted me to do all the things that kids should do. And I was able to play music. Like I was able to play anything back that my teachers gave me, but it didn't stick. Like I just didn't care. So when my school got a music program, they put me back in one more time, and it stuck. So, for me, I know Ryan's more of a self-taught musician, and especially with, I think, anything creative, there's a bunch of different avenues to get to the same landing spot. So me and him have different ways of getting to that passion of music, but for me it was the classroom. So it's really important for me to be involved in these advocacy efforts, whether it's in Sacramento or Capitol Hill in DC, to ensure that these programs exist, because it's really important for student retention and things like that. But also, I know my love of music came from the classroom, so I'm going to keep fighting as long as this is a problem, to make sure if there's any kids coming up like me that private lessons didn't cut it for them, but the classroom was the difference maker. I want to make sure those programs exist for them.
That's powerful, man. Giving back to music education and helping shape the next generation. That's bigger than just being on stage. It really shows where your passion is for the music. And so let me ask you, what artists influenced you when you were young that helped shape this passion, to work with, music education and these types of organizations?
I would say for me, the first band I really got into was the Beatles, and that is still stuck with me. I don't think it's a surprise that before I had any real exposure to bands, or even really playing music, by that point I had done like my private lessons and stuff. But to gravitate to a band in third grade the way I did to the Beatles, like, yeah, of course I ended up a bass player. Like, I started really strong, so of course, of course, the Beatles would be a band that I naturally gravitated to. But especially in those earlier years too, like I grew up, my family's from New York, so I grew up listening to a lot of jazz and swing music too. So my influences are kind of just all over the place.
Well, that's why I keep writing songs with walking bass lines.
Yeah.
I know how much you listen to jazz growing up.
Yep.
So I just want to let you scratch that itch a little bit.
It's very much appreciated.
Good. I'm glad that isn't going unnoticed.
No, not at all.
I do have a habit of trying to write songs that'll just be incredibly annoying for him to learn and play, because it's like no, I only have to play it while I'm writing it. Like, no, that's your job. Once we're done here, you're the one that has to play it every night.
The real problem is when we go live, and then there's like these 3 just marathon sessions in a row. It's just like, God, like, hands just cramping.
When you've been doing it,
and he's just over there noodling around and singing, and
yeah, he's just shaking his ass. Just sucks to suck.
You guys don't need me to play on this one, right? Okay, cool. I'm here. I'm gonna take my tambourine. You guys got it? Yeah, cool.
Well, Ryan, you started early as well. You were singing in bars and stuff at like a teenager, and started really early. Talk about some of your musical influences early on, and how you talk about that, starting young like that.
So my dad always had classic rock playing, 60s and 70s rock. It was just the soundtrack of my life. He was born in 1960, and so he was growing up in that beautiful late 70s era of rock and roll. Before we got to the glam years, after we got out of the sort of the boy band rock years, that just sort of that's my favorite era of rock and roll, because Van Halen was already going, like the late 70s. You had Queen, you had Aerosmith, and this just sort of this blue collar rock and roll that it was my favorite era, possibly because that's what my dad always had playing. So I was always listening to that, and that is really what that's what I thought music was. Like, I didn't really know anything else other than that. But I never, as a kid, I never really considered even like playing music or getting into it. They didn't do me lessons. I was a jock. I played football. I played basketball. I played soccer. Like, that was what I spent all my time doing. But my first, I don't even know if Justin knows this, my very first foray into formal music was to get out of class when I was 10, maybe. So we had choir at my school, which I didn't want to do because it was before school. It wasn't a class.
Okay.
And then I heard that they were doing tryouts for honors choir. And if you got accepted to be on the honors choir, you did not have to go anywhere before school. You got to leave school. You got to have like 2 or 3 days off a year or semester or whatever to go to competitions. And I just said, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, let me see if I can sing. I like music. I like singing. And I got onto our school's honors choir. And then I got to, I got out of school to go spend all day at these choir competitions that I did. And that was like my first into music thing. And also sort of like the beginning of, I guess maybe I can sing a little bit. I guess maybe I can keep a pitch. Maybe I know a little bit about what's going on. And then years later, one of my basketball buddies, who I knew was a guitarist, I knew he'd been taking lessons, good buddy of mine, said he wanted to start a band. He's like, I want to start a band. We're teenagers. I'm like 13 years old. He's like, yeah, I want to start a band. Like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. You can meet girls if you're in a band. Like, let's totally start a band. And he said, I'm going to be the lead guitar player, and you are going to be the lead singer, and you're going to play rhythm guitar. So, oh, great. So next thing you know, I go and I con my poor parents into buying me a $200 Epiphone to learn on, and I start taking a little bit of guitar lessons because I have a goal in mind. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be in this guy's band, and started doing that. And the guy never started the band. I wound up jamming with him once, I think, in my entire life.
Oh, dude!
But a year later, there was a band in my high school, like an established band, established to the point that they actually had played gigs. And when you're a 14-year-old kid, freshman in Oklahoma, you're like, wait, they played a show? They played a gig? What do you mean they played a gig? And they were even recording music. They had put out a CD. I'd listened to it. And for whatever reason, something wasn't working out with their singer. I don't remember if he just wasn't super into it. You know, teenagers go through phases. But I was like, I could do that. I could be your singer. I could be the guy. And I knew a couple of the guys and went and jammed with them. And I guess I joined that band, I want to say, my sophomore year of high school. And by the end of that year, we were gigging, like playing in bars.
Nice. Wow.
We went and we would do every battle of the bands we could get our hands on, and we won all of them. We just, swept every battle of the band in Oklahoma, central Oklahoma. And then my bass player, a good man by the name of Ben Carter, we're still friends to this day. He was a pit bull, so he was just like, I don't know, let's book a show. And he'd just call around, 15, 16 years old, calling around, trying to find bars that would let us play. And we'd show up, and they'd be like, all right, cool. We'd play one time. They'd say, all right, now get out of here because you're too young to be in the bar. And then they'd call us back, and they'd be like, hey, you guys were really good. We want you to come back, and also you're going to headline, but you still can't hang out here. So we just need you to like sit in the parking lot until midnight, and then come in and do your rock thing, and then leave. Like, okay. But it was cool. It really got me. I was a seasoned bar performer by the time I was 17 years old. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. showing up to class all dead ass tired because and
Right,
back
sure.
in those days, I don't know if it's the same now, but back in those days, being the headliner just meant that you played last, and there was no like, oh yeah, no, we're giving you the good slot. It's like, no, it's Tuesday night in Oklahoma City. I don't think that 1 a.m. is the good slot tonight, but that's what we would do, and then I'd drive back, an hour back home at 2:33 in the morning with the $17 that we made at the door or whatever. But I loved it. I mean, obviously, I fell in love. I knew that was what I wanted to do and what I should be doing from the first time I ever played in a band in a room with other people. It was at the place where I took guitar lessons. They were doing like a rock clinic thing where they would let you see what it was like to jam with other people. And that very first note, like my whole body just vibrated.
Hell yeah.
And I never looked back. I knew at that very moment. It was like just every hair just standing on end. Because we played like a G chord at the same time.
Okay.
And I was done. I was hooked. That was all I was going to do forever.
So, Ryan, you mentioned you played with several people growing up, and you guys have shared the stage with some serious names in rock, like Slash, Motley Crue, Tom Morello, and Camp Freddy. What's that experience been like for you and stepping into those moments and performing alongside these artists?
I'm going to let Justin get that too. But for me, the higher the stakes, the more I love it. Like if I'm playing, I don't get nervous about that kind of stuff. Like if I'm playing with somebody who's really, really good, like that just makes me want to be that much better. It just sort of feels like a welcome to the big leagues kind of moment. When I was 21 years old, I did a show on MTV Asia that was broadcast live in front of 50,000 people, and it was like I had an out-of-body experience. Like for whatever reason, like if it's a big high-stakes show, I get so juiced to just like it. I don't know. It just makes it feel like, oh yeah, no, this is the show. Like you better go and you better get on it and you better really perform. And I love that. Maybe it's the old athlete basketball player in me or something. It's like, no, this is the big game. Let's go. Stretch up. Let's get it going. So whoever we're playing with, when we're playing with somebody that has a good history or notoriety or a big fan base, I am always so incredibly grateful to them for playing with us and for what they've done before us. Not because I love being in front of the extra eyeballs. I love it that, oh yeah, everybody knows who Slash is.
Oh, yeah.
And now they get to see who we are. But even beyond that, it's just like, oh no, this is like the energy is just so much different when it's somebody who has got some gravitas, and I'm thankful for that. Just the electricity in the air at a big show is so addictive, so addictive.
Absolutely.
And
I can only imagine.
Please.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut in front of you.
No, you're the singer. No, I would say honestly a lot of what he said. I would also say that I think we are the type of band too that like prides ourselves on the live show component of being a band. So, we've done some smaller tours where we've been playing in smaller rooms, and like we still we're still getting off the stage 45 minutes later just sore and sweaty and having to go change clothes right afterwards because we're still just trying to give it our all for the people that are there in the room.
Right.
With that said, with those larger gigs, there is definitely I would say like an added edge of just like seeing people up front, just like, well, I'm waiting for this person. Like, yeah, but you're gonna have to wait, and just watching those arms. In LA, like there's people that are very judgmental and can be pretentious in live music settings, where like it's not necessarily the coolest thing to actually let it be visible that you're enjoying yourself for some reason. So when you're watching those people that are just, cross just like, well, I'll be the judge, and then just like, 3 songs in, they're just like jamming out. It's like, yeah, that didn't take you that long. Like, those moments are also really enjoyable, just to win the crowd over.
Yes, that's always a big goal of mine. If there's a big crowd that's not there for me, it's like, well, you're gonna be there. You're here for me pretty soon. I saw the Wild Hearts opening for the Darkness when the Darkness first broke in Deep Ellum in Dallas, Texas, and nobody in that day and age, especially in Dallas, Texas, had any idea who the Wild Hearts were. And they go out there, and the Darkness just blew up. They're still playing in a little club. I drove 3 hours down to see it. So did everybody else. We're there because this band that is huge already has a club tour booked, and we can go. And Ginger Wildheart gets out there, and he's just like, "Hi, we're the Wild Hearts. You don't know who we are, but you're gonna fucking love us in a few minutes."
Right.
And he just and they just came in with that attitude, and it wasn't even like a pretentious, like cocky thing. It was just like, we're gonna do what we do, and we're gonna give you everything that we've got, and I bet you're gonna like it. And that's that sort of confidence of just like confidence in your craft and in your music and in your performance, I think is really infectious. And it's something that I try to always do, because it's easy to get nervous. It is. Like it's easy to be intimidated by a crowd that isn't really loving what you're doing, or a crowd that you don't think is your crowd because you're on a bill that maybe the music isn't all the same. But if you have that confidence of just like, no, look, guys, what we do is good, and we're gonna do what we do as well as we can, and especially if it's something that's fun. It always helps if your music is fun and people can have a nice time, and you're having a nice time. When I was coming up, early 2000s, there wasn't a lot of smiling in rock and roll back in those days. So once bands sort of got permission to smile on stage again, I think that went a long way in it being more accessible to people. Although I like the bands that don't smile sometimes too, depending.
Well, everything that you guys are describing, I really think everything that you guys have just talked about really describes your song revelation, because when you are a music lover, or you go to, you're a music lover, when you go to a rock show, a metal show, there's kind of a natural high, and there is an electricity, an energy, if you're really a music fan. And that's what music is there to do for us, to transport us to that place where we're forgetting about the week's troubles, we're forgetting about work, we're forgetting about crying babies, or whatever it is. And there's an electricity to it. It's almost a spiritual experience on some levels. And so I'm like you guys, when I go to a show, if I see a bunch of people sitting down and nobody's bobbing their heads or moving, that kind of kills me. But and I've almost gotten in trouble before for opening my mouth, because I'm like, you guys get up, this is a rock show. But you kind of just described your song revelation in a nutshell, because that's what you're there to do. You guys as performers are there to take us on a revolution within our souls with the music, and I love that.
Yes, that is essentially what that song is about. And there's I remember when I was first kind of writing that and getting to the verse, the little breakdown on it kind of has the jazzy bass vibe. Like the only thing that I had in my head the whole time that I was writing it was being in the audience and looking up at a stage. Like that was what was I can't quantify why that was the thing that was seared into my brain, but that is what I couldn't stop visualizing as I was writing that song. And that's one that went through a bunch of different iterations before I really settled down on what the song came to be. But even the bridge, like the "Why you wanna carry on, just playing strong while living well," like it's the way that lifts, and he's even talking about, wait, why are you just gonna move along from song to song, but never long enough to hear it? Like it just really that's one of my favorite ones that I have ever written, because it is sort of a little bit about like an ethos that we have, I would say.
That's awesome.
I know that's the song that, like, for sure when we play it, like, that gives me like, I get like an adrenaline boost playing that song. It's just
Heck yeah.
powerful. It's a really powerful song.
Oh yeah.
Also very crampy.
That
It's
one's
very
got
crampy.
there's a lot
Crampy?
happening. A lot happening on that one.
At this time, I'd like to take a moment for the audience. If you're rocking with us tonight, jump in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We see you. So.
Yeah. Say hi. Say hi in the chat. Social accounts, social security,
Horoscopes.
Yeah. A list of your fears and daily schedule. Whatever works.
Hell yeah. So I want to go back. I know Ferg brought up your most recent song. Mm-hmm. The song "Oh My God," it hits hard with a lot of intensity. What was going through your minds when you guys were creating that song?
So that one, classic story. That was when I was creating that song. I was in the shower. That was one.
I was there too, weirdly
Justin
enough.
was there too, so it's not like we're working together here. I'm not some egomaniac, You should save water, shower with a friend.
Knew it was coming.
the little main riff, that was in my head, and so was the beginning of the chorus. Just the melody, I was literally taking a shower, got out of the shower, and just grabbed my guitar and said, "What was that? What was I hearing? Where is it? What was that?" And picked out the notes and found that, and was just like, "Okay, that's cool. I think that might be a song." I was writing a lot in those days, so like the muscle memory was just there for writing, because it is a muscle. You need to do it as much as you can. And that is actually a really good example of sort of my writing process, because lyrics are actually the last thing I do. I don't know what a song is about until I know how it feels. And once I know how it feels to listen to that song, what emotion it gives me, then I start to start playing with words. I just start spitting stuff out. And I'm pretty positive that the first one I had on that one was "Oh My God." Just at one point during that little turnaround, I just went, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Oh, we have something. Okay, why am I saying 'Oh my God'?" And then just sort of letting it build there. That was one that I know that music was done, and the way we would write back in those days, we'd get a musical sort of blueprint a little bit, and then we'd get in the room and we'd jam it out. I would put down the guitar, because I didn't even play guitar in shows at that time, and I'd let Justin and Domo, our former guitarist, work on it, and Domo crushed with writing the little licks in between on that stuff, and he turned that guitar part into something else entirely, and that one actually came together really, really naturally through that everybody in the room together making noise process. and that probably influenced that sort of cocksure, bombastic, we are indestructible feeling of writing that song. It was just like, because that's how it felt. We're in the room together, and we know how cool this sounds and how cool it feels, and it just makes you want to write something very confident, and makes you want to, puff your chest out and stake your flag, and that's kind of where that came from.
And fun fact with that song.
Well, that song has some attitude. That one's got some real attitude. I love that line. I'm gonna make you wish I'm a mirage. Like, dude, that song kicks ass.
Thank you.
And we actually got to debut that music video at Universal Studios Hollywood on their big 40-foot jumbotron.
Yeah, if either of you have ever been to the Universal Studios for about a year, it was up there.
Yeah, it was in rotation
There's
at
this big
City Walk.
giant screen right outside the movie theater by all the restaurants there, and we had it in rotation for about a year. It was really cool. My brother made that music video, shot it and edited it. We went out to the Salton Sea, middle of freaking nowhere, and just dragged around a full-sized coffin that we built the week before, and nobody stopped us or said, "Hey, are you guys burying a body?" Nothing. Just like, no, they just let us do our thing, I guess.
Yeah, least weird thing going on out there.
Yes, the Salton Sea near Bombay Beach is the spot, because apparently they're just used to that type of thing out there. I'll text. I'll drop a pin. I'll drop a pin.
Okay.
I'd be lying if I said I've went to California before, but I've never been to California. I'd like to, visit, but it'd be pretty cool, to go to Universal Studios and see that, especially you guys, to have you up on the jumbotron, man. It's just,
It was surreal.
Experience, yeah.
It was surreal. Well, first off, come on out, man. Come visit. There's a lot of nice stuff to do here. I mean, there's some real good hikes. There is some real good food, just not necessarily
the southern food.
Barbecue. But everything else, we got really good food.
I can cook, so we're good on that.
Oh yeah, there you go. We'll go.
Well, my brother spent a lot of time out in San Diego when he was in the military. So if I ever come out, I'll just ask Larry, where do I need to go? Because
there you go. There you go.
But speaking of videos and songs, I didn't put this one in my review when I reviewed you guys, but for the interview, I wanted to bring this one up. Lovely Lies. That song and video has absolutely everything you would want in a freaking rock song, and the video reminded me of back when MTV would play damn good rock videos. At the live footage, I mean, you see you guys at the Viper Room, you see you guys on stage, see you guys hugging and high-fiving after the show, and you see footage of the crowd and everything. So tell us about the making of that video, that song, and the crowd reaction there. That one just jumps out at you that this is rock and roll.
Funny you should bring that one up. I watched that music video for the first time in, how old is it? I don't know, 10 years? The first time in 10 years, a few weeks ago. I had forgotten. You keep making new stuff and you move on and you don't necessarily always go back and check on yourself. But I watched that and it had some of the same thoughts. I'm like, oh, this was awesome. Like, I'd forgotten how cool this was. That was...
You remember the context of that one, right?
That was Sunset Strip Music Festival.
That was the Sunset Strip Music Festival with the Doors and Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
and Bad Religion too.
Wow.
Bad Religion was there,
dude.
So that was at the.
Oh, dude.
That was at the Roxy. We played the Roxy that year at Sunset Strip Music Festival.
We played like right before Bad Religion, actually.
Mm-hmm. And
man,
they just filmed the show, and the guy that was another friend of yours, wasn't it?
That was Anthony.
It was Anthony. It wasn't okay. So Anthony cut it together. And it wound up being a lot of fun. We really didn't know what to expect out of it. And that was at a time where we were doing a thing where we were just releasing a song a month for a little while.
Back before that became the status quo.
Before that, oh yeah, we were way ahead of the curve.
Okay.
2012, 2013, we were releasing a song a month because we were just self-producing and we wanted to put it out and keep the content coming.
We're touring a lot too.
And that was one of those songs. So we tracked it. I recorded it. That was also the first song that Domo played on. A lot of the rhythms on that, I think, might actually still be Krishna. But by the time it was released, Krishna had left the band and Domo had joined. And so like that solo on there, when he comes in with the big double stop halfway through the solo, that's like the first thing Domo ever tracked with us. And it's funny you bring that one up, because so that was the Roxy, and the spiritual successor to that music video we are releasing on May 15th. That's why I went and watched it, because we were thinking about doing another live video. Like, oh, it's been a while. What was that? How was that other one like? Oh yeah, okay, it was at the Roxy. We played at last month. We played at the Viper Room, which might be my favorite stage on Earth.
Which is also not closing.
Which is not closing.
Okay, good.
Horrible rumors keep popping up. And my wife, who works in the entertainment industry, and one of our friends came and they filmed us playing our set at the Viper Room, and so now we have cut that into a music video that we're releasing with our new song "Tell Me" on May 15th. And what's cool about it is when you're watching that one of us for Lovely Lies, it feels like you're at the Roxy. Now, for those who know or don't know, the Roxy's a pretty good-sized venue. It's got a real good-sized footprint. The Viper Room is small, and you feel it. So you really feel watching this video, like you're right here. You are right here in our faces while we're doing this. And I think it turned out really cool. We knew we had a song coming out, and we knew that we wanted to put out some kind of video. And my wife and her friend went and got the footage. We didn't know what to expect, and then I pulled it up, and I'm like, oh, this rules. I think we have a music video. And so,
heck yeah.
I just odd that you would bring up the Lovely Lies one of all music videos.
Also, I want to just give him a little fun fact too. That Sunset Strip Music Festival show was Domo's first gig with us.
Oh, it was.
And he was hired. Like we brought him in maybe a week or two before that. So like we have a really bad habit.
I'm so mean to these guys.
We have a really bad habit of being absolute dicks to our
Bringing guys.
The hazing in this band is abusive.
I'm just always.
Well, speaking of that, you guys have 2 new members.
Yeah.
Recently, within recent years, anyway.
Yeah. So Johnny
since 2017, possibly.
I guess we'll go chronologically here. 2017 is when Clark joined the band. Our drummer Clark, who we love dearly. Uh-oh, did we lose him?
No, we lost Ferg.
That's live, baby. Oh, yeah. And I know he really wanted to hear this story. Yeah. That's all right. We'll fill him in later.
Yeah, he'll be back.
We'll fill him in later. So yeah, 2017 is when Clark joined up, and he and Domo go way back. They're good friends from way back in the day. Had jammed a little here and there. And he's he fit in. He fit right in like a glove. He's a powerhouse hitter of a drummer, and just the sweetest, kindest man. Like, I love spending time with him. We stay with his family when we go play shows in Canada. If he's in town, half the time he stays with me. And we, I forget that, Clark's been in the band so long now that I'm just so used to him being there. Killer writer. He always. Sometimes you have to tell a drummer what to do or have to lead them into a direction, and I don't ever feel that way with Clark. It's just like I kind of start playing something, and then I'm like, hey, what if the drums were like, and then he plays it, and I'm like, oh yeah, great, yeah. And he just knocks it out. now for the last couple years, year and a half.
Yeah, about a year.
We've had Johnny Gomez playing guitar with us, who is another friend from back in the day. You knew him back in the day.
Yeah, I've
knew him
known
back in the day.
Johnny's been a friend of mine for years.
And he, our guitarist Domo, who we played with for years and years, I love him dearly. And our old drummer Danny, I love him dearly as well. When you've been doing this as long as we have, people's lives change, and
Absolutely.
and that's just what happens. Circumstances in Domo's life had sort of changed, where he needed to spend time and energy and effort on other things, and great. I love that for you, and we are still good friends to this day. I was texting with his wife just recently. But that also just sort of means like, okay, well, let me take stock of my life, and Justin take stock of your life. We're losing an important member. Does that mean that we're going to stop the band? No. So, okay. So let's go find a guitarist.
Which is a really hard thing to do in LA, by the way.
No guitarists anywhere in Los Angeles. I don't want... Although, to be fair, we didn't wind up with a guitarist from Los Angeles.
That's true.
We wound up with Johnny, who at the time was living in Mexico. So we had several months there where we had a drummer in Canada, us in California, and a guitarist in Mexico. We were a truly North American band. And that is the story about
how I met your mother.
I got away with murder. Did I time that right? Did I?
So, hell yeah, guys. Oh, there's some. What is that?
Yeah, I know, but the statute of limitations, I don't think I can be prosecuted for all of those murders
Berg,
that I
you got
just
some
told
background
you
noise
about.
going on.
I know it.
Let's see here.
Like,
Give me
really
just a moment to correct that.
So, moving on.
Moving on.
I want to step back and talk about Turn It Up. You guys go from push and pull emotion into something just feels loud and unapologetic. What inspired that kind of energy behind Turn It Up?
Turn It Up, the anger. That was a song that I wrote during COVID. And until COVID,
Okay.
I had spent damn near 20 years of my life being down at a studio playing with my boys 3 nights a week. Like, that had always been what I did. And then suddenly I couldn't do that anymore, and there were no gigs, and I didn't have this outlet. So there was just like some pent up frustration, and that was like my letting that out. I mean, the song starts off with, feels like it's been so long since you spit in my face. It's like, no, that was not.
Yes.
Like, no,
That wasn't an us thing. That
wasn't an
a
us thing. That was
stage.
like, no, I want to be on stage. I want you people spitting in my face. It was like the angst and the anger of not being able to do what I love to do is what made that song so aggressive. I still love playing it because it wasn't that long ago. I still remember what it was like sitting around being like, am I ever going to be on stage again? Am I just going to be watching Zoom concerts for the rest of my life?
Just sending this dude heart emojis, just like, miss you.
So yeah, it was anger that made me write a song so aggressive. But it's also therapy. Like, I write that song, I'm not just like walking around mad trying to punch people. No, because I wrote the song. It's out. I got it out of my heart. I got it out of my system. And all of that aggression can live here inside this song. And I don't have to carry it with me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, guys, there's a song on your debut EP, and Rob knew I was going to ask about this. We talked about it. I got to ask, Big Leg Betty. You know, Led Zeppelin said a big leg woman ain't got no soul. So that's immediately what I thought of. I said, I got to ask about this one. And I had to listen to it too. It's a pretty rocking song, and I do hear the influence of Zeppelin in there.
Oh gosh,
That's an interesting one.
that is an interesting one because that
That was out of a jam session in the room.
that was one
That was like an accident.
that was one that we did.
Really?
Honestly, sometimes you wind up with a song that you just don't want to overthink, and that was one of those. Domo came in with this riff, and we just started kind of jamming on this riff, and the drum beat started coming, and what the lyrics finalize themselves as is not all that different from what was just scattered in the room. Like just sitting there, you probably had a beer or two in me. I'm just listening, vibing, just big leg Betty, hold on me, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I like it. And then I just follow through. Yeah, that's interesting that one kind of stuck with you and brought it up because some songs you agonize with your lyrics on, and you're rolling around on the floor trying to rhyme with orange, like Leonard Cohen says. And then some of them, you're just like, throw it at the wall and wait for it to stick. And if it's stuck, you're like, yeah, then that's it. That means there was some sort of divine spark. There was some sort of thing that was just gifted to you, and don't mess with it. If it works, it works. And Big Leg Betty was totally one of those songs. Because most songs I can remember where I had to go down and sit and rework. And actually, that entire album, that Nomads album, almost every lyric on that album I wrote at a place called No Bar in North Hollywood, California.
Okay.
I would take my little iPod back in those days and a notebook, and
that is.
I know. I'd take my iPod, my notebook. I had my motorcycle back then. I'd ride my motorcycle up to this bar. And if it was a weeknight, this would be after I went to the gym and I just wanted to decompress and I knew I needed to do some lyrics work. I'd sit down and I'd put whatever song I was writing on, and I would just order one drink, like one whiskey neat or something, and I would sit there and I would write lyrics until I was finished with my drink. And Big Leg Betty was a one drink session. That was one where it's just like I kind of knew what I had. I had our demo, and it was I knew some of the words. By the time that drink was done, it was perfect. But then one like Born to Make Me Die, I went to that bar 4 or 5 times before I had that one sorted out, because that one was like for whatever reason, some of them just take longer and some of them come quicker.
And Big Leg Betty too. The chorus on that song was a real nightmare.
The chorus, the music.
Yeah.
The music on the chorus for that one, we had
a lot of revisions on that one.
A lot of revisions.
Really?
Because we wound up just anticipating everything.
Yeah.
Right? And it took us a long time to figure. We kind of had the chorus, but we didn't have the chorus, and it wound up being one of those really super simple fixes.
Yeah.
That we just couldn't think of for 2 months.
I remember like the main version that we sat on for a while had more of like a stabby, like a cold hard bitch type of like jet feel.
Okay.
And that it just didn't jive well. Like there was like enough going on where it was just like kind of like tense in the verses that, you know, it needed something that was going to breathe more than what we were trying to shoehorn in there and just like sitting with.
Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that. Yeah, we had a hard time figuring out the timing on the chorus. See, I'm telling you, there's some stuff he just remembers better than me.
Got the vault up there, man.
Yeah.
Got the oral history of the band.
Love it.
So, are there any plans to hit the road in the near future? Any touring shows fans can keep an eye out for?
We're going to Canada soon.
We will be in Canada over the summer. We've got a lot of friends and we've got some fans up there and good people up there. So we'll be doing that over the summer. As far as touring, it's kind of different than it used to be. Just like the world at large, as far as music goes. So we did a bunch of kind of like the, you know, little quick runs up and down the coast and all that kind of stuff. And that doesn't seem to be, it's just not as common. It's not just LA that has lost a lot of their venues. It's cities all over the country have lost a lot of their venues. So a place that you might think that you used to go play in Shreveport, Louisiana, it closed during COVID and never came back. Like there's just so
Right.
much of that where the overall economy for like gigging bands has shrank to where it's a huge bummer. So now we adapt with it. If there's something that is cool, you know, there's no need for us to go out on the road for 3 weeks if we can hop on a plane and go play a show in Denver and then come back the next day because Denver still has its cool venue, you know, and we can go play out there, play in Denver, come back, or San Diego, or wherever. That seems to just be a lot more of what is happening now. From where I'm sitting, I don't hear about as many bands that are sort of in our level, that are like on our level. I don't hear about as many of them touring as I used to. All my buddies who used to be on tour all the time, just they're not anymore. So it seems like right now, I just kind of don't think everything's recovered yet. I mean, I know it's been 6 years,
Yeah.
but stuff takes a while. Stuff takes a while.
That, and you got to think about, you know, as long as they were closed, you know, you can't pay the bills when you don't have people to come in too. So a lot of places closed, and they closed permanently.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
And
tough.
I think it's people might have to just be starting from scratch. I've seen some stuff even out here, like a couple of new venues sprouting up, a couple of festivals sprouting up that didn't used to be there.
Sunset Strip Music Festival is
Sunset Strip
possibly
Music
coming back at
Festival
the end
is
of this
apparently
year.
going to come
That'd be
back.
great.
It seems
That would be
it seems like the contracting of that sort of blue collar music economy has stopped. I think we hit the point where it's finished contracting, because now I'm starting to see signs of expansion again. And once it starts to expand, then people will be going out on tour again. Then people will be like, there'll be, and instead of seeing one band that's playing in Hollywood on Thursday night, then there will be 4 bands playing in Hollywood on Thursday night. And if it, you know, starts to build that up, hopefully we'll still be around by the time it builds back up to what it was in pre-COVID era. But I don't plan on going anywhere. I like making music.
You better not.
Don't plan on it.
'Cause
Got nothing better to
we
do.
enjoy it. Speaking of that, who put together and who manages and does the upkeep on you guys' website? You guys have probably one of the best interactive websites. Like, a lot of times I have to tell people go to Spotify and then go to Apple and then go to YouTube or go. Everything you want is on y'all's website. Like all the music videos, you can purchase individual songs, you can purchase whole albums, you can listen to them, you can download what the press says about your band, you can download the band bios. Like everything's all right there, like everything, and it's put together really well. So give props to whoever's taking care of that. Who does that for you?
I will give myself props, I suppose. Yeah, I don't have any sort of like background in doing that. I just threw that thing together and was like, what should be here? And it was just what made sense to me that should be on a band's website. So I just slapped it all on there and update it as needed. But I really appreciate that. I really do. That means that, you know, I threw the right stuff on there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, look at that.
you did.
There it is.
Oh no, except
Hey.
except I got to update our top thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we got a new
Right.
song coming soon.
Well, we almost released it on the same day too.
We almost released it on the same
Wow.
freaking day. I didn't know
May
that till
16th.
right now. I didn't know that till right now.
Huh.
So for the audience, you can go to loveanda38music.com. You can find their music and a lot more.
Probably.
Probably, if you can find it. I never deleted it, so it's probably somewhere in the ether.
So what would you say your guys' dream venue would be?
Like full pie in the sky.
Like,
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure, pie in the
Absolutely.
sky.
Oh, Red Rocks.
Ooh.
Red Rock.
Easy.
Ooh.
Red Rocks.
Ooh. I'd like to play the Sphere in Vegas. I
That'd
think
be
that
cool.
you could have so much cool stuff. There's so much fun stuff that you could do there. But I would not turn down a gig at Red Rocks. That's for sure. At a certain,
Hiking in the morning, playing
yeah,
a show at night. That's
at a certain point, an arena is an arena. Like, whether it's Madison Square Garden or the Staples Center. I guess at a certain point, arena is an arena. But Red Rocks is unique.
it's
Red
so
Rocks is
different.
very, very unique. That would be, yeah. I'm still probably going Sphere though.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, something
The
else
sphere
that's
looks pretty
unique.
cool.
Oh yeah.
Better than a cube.
Something else that's unique is what you guys do, the writing process in all of your songs. You know how there are certain bands, and I'm not knocking anyone's band whatsoever, but some albums and some bands, each song and subsequent song kind of has the same feel or similar to the same sound, but you guys, you never know what you're going to get, but you know it's going to rock, you know it's going to kick ass, but you guys are always putting extra creative elements in there, kind of like on Oh My God, you've got that Civil War drum cadence, on Turn It Up at the beginning, even though it's very rockin', you put in some country twang at the beginning. You guys are always adding new and different elements to your songs, but no song sounds the same. Like each song does not sound like the last song, and I think that's great. I think that's unique. Not a lot of bands do that. That's kind of why I wore the Guns N' Roses shirt, because Guns did that. Guns, each song was going to be great, but it wasn't going to sound like the last song. You guys have a music catalog that reminds me of that. No song sounds like the last song you just listened to. Talk about your creative process and intention behind all that.
Well, I will say you're gonna love telling me that, because that is also weird. I did ragtime piano on it, so
We did.
Okay.
We did some ragtime piano. I mean, we have relatively diverse interests, and there's just all I want to do is make rock and roll, and everything works with rock and roll. If you're making rock and roll, hey, does piano work with it? Yes. Does banjo work with it?
Yeah.
Does a blues beat work with it? Yes. Everything works with rock and roll. So if there's something that I'm particularly into, I might just try to write a song like somebody else, and I will never wind up sounding like that band. It'll just be like, but putting myself in that headspace sort of gives a little bit of seasoning to a Love and a 38 song. That's my voice is what it is. My voice, for better or worse, is unique. But that means that we will always sound like us, no matter what we're doing. We will always sound like us.
Oh, for sure.
And that gives you a little bit of license, because you can dabble around with other things but still be very distinct in your sound. So we like to play around with other stuff. It's not even a conscious effort that we make. It's just, hey, let's start writing something. This is cool. Does this rock? And yes, it do rock. All right, great, let's go. Great. Maybe we add this to it. Maybe we add this to it. Maybe we take this out of it. So I appreciate you noticing that and saying that, because it's just the natural order of, I guess, how my brain works. And this song "Tell Me" that we're coming out with has some interesting stuff in it. Ragtime piano, a lot of different harmonies, a lot of different cool things. By the time that comes out, I might be bored with that, and our next song might just be like one guitar, one bass, big fat chunky riff, and no backup vocals at all. Like, it just might be that might be what I feel like eating that day, And as long as it tastes good, man, just make sure you cook it up right, no matter what the ingredients are.
I would say the only
There you go.
real North Star we have for writing is how will this play live?
Sure.
That's pretty much the only thing that most of our songs have in common is just, would this sound good live? Like, is this something people can, vibe with and dance to and have a good time with? Outside of that, yeah, ragtime piano, banjo, Civil War drums, like it's
A little bit of everything, baby.
we'll make it work.
Gentlemen, any final questions? Because I just looked that we have gone a little bit over what hour.
I was about to say we're hitting an hour and 15 minutes. So
It was fun. It's been fun.
oh yeah.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you guys doing that. If you've got time for one last thing without saying too much, something that's unique or amazing that each member brings to the table. Brag on your bandmates.
Okay. You go first.
Are we saying about the other one or of ourselves?
Don't say about yourself. I'll say about you.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
say
Don't
about
brag
them.
on yourself. Brag on your
I just wanna make
bandmates.
sure we have this right.
Night.
Yeah.
I like his lyrical choices. The like he calls it street can poetry. I've always been a big fan of the way he writes like little like motifs and just his like sayings, like we're gonna tighten up till it's pretty. Like they're just interesting things he does with his word selection that I really enjoy listening back to.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Ah, you're welcome.
Thanks, buddy. All right, I will go. I'm going to bring in Clark and Johnny as well. What I find unique about Clark and his drumming is there is an effortless power to the way that he plays that you kind of have to be in the room to experience. When you are at a show with Clark on the kit, there is a force that is just felt that really moves everything along, and that's not something that I've experienced with every drummer. Even in drummers that hit hard, there's something about how effortless it is. It's just like he starts playing, it's like, oh, he might just tear the stage down, and he's just doing it with a smile. It's like he's not even trying. And like I think that really sort of translates throughout the rest of the band and creates an energy. John?
Also with Clark, since we're doing this, I'll jump in on Clark too. I like the way he contributes to the larger writing process at hand. I know some drummers will just sit back there and just like, hit, tom, snare, but like he's actually pretty involved in like what we do because he also plays piano too. So like he's got an understanding of like scales and stuff.
He stays very engaged.
Yeah, he's very engaged with the writing process.
To give Johnny, our guitarist Johnny Gomez, some love. There's a couple of things. There's a versatility to his playing that I think is really underrated, or hopefully properly rated. I hope everybody realizes it because he really can play anything, and not just play anything, but play anything well. And his musical knowledge is encyclopedic. And it is a marvel to behold where he'll just pull something out of his head when you're working on something, and it's stuff that I have no idea what's happening, and it's just like I don't know what you're doing, but that sounds right and it works and it's awesome. Now aside from that, he's also just freaking cool in a way that you can't really necessarily quantify. And you'll see when the video comes out. When I was editing the music video, every time there was a shot of him back there with this cool hat on, and it's just sort of that like, oh yeah, that's just rock star cool. Like I don't know what it is.
Dude.
Yeah, I don't know what makes that rock star cool, but he just has rock star cool, and you can't teach that. So when somebody has rock star cool, it's like, oh no, I gotta tip my hat. Now my young friend Justin here.
Yeah.
This may sound like a boring one unless you are somebody who can actually appreciate it. Justin is the most consistent human being I've ever met in my entire life. And consistency, reliability,
I've helped him move so many
When
times.
you have someone in your life who you just know that you can count on, and I'm not talking about being there to help me move. I'm talking about I don't have to worry about if he's going to screw up on stage. I don't have to worry about if he's not going to learn his parts. I don't have to worry about if there's anything that I like. There's nothing. I never ever have to worry about Justin. I know he's going to play the parts. I know when it's time to write, he's going to write. I know that he's going to be there and he's going to excel. And that is
Hopefully
something
hard
that
to find.
and
Heck
not
yeah.
only in a bandmate, but in a human being is the rarest of breed, because how many people can you truly count on for everything? We can all probably count on one hand how many people we really have that we can really count on.
Right.
And Justin is absolutely that guy. Absolutely,
Hell yeah.
110%.
Good
Dude,
props,
that's
Justin.
awesome. That's high praise, bro.
Well, Ryan and Justin, huge shout out and thank you for hanging with us tonight
Thank
and
you.
bringing that energy,
Hey,
just like the music.
it's like the music, baby.
Make sure-
Thanks for having us.
Make sure y'all go show some love, run up their music, keep supporting real rock. Make sure to come back here for these upcoming shows. May 10th, Venus Love. May 15th, Queen of Spades. May 23rd, Touch of Red. Don't miss it. Stay loud, stay real, and keep it locked right here on BSing with Y-Eagle-Y podcast. And we'll see you next time.